a defensive tackle, maybe a third running back. The question is, do the Browns need to add these to the roster? Andrew Berry talked about how he has assembled this roster and just where it sits.
I would say this: we feel good about the roster in general. I mean, it remains to be seen the competition of like starting spots versus maybe more supporting roles within the offense or defense. But we feel good about the competition that we have across the roster and are looking forward to guys. Some guys will assume bigger roles. Some guys will take another step in their career, and how that all shakes out, that's what the next several weeks are for.
And Jacob, when you think about what he's saying, he realizes there's, and injury may dictate this and change it. He realizes there's some spots, towards the back end of that 53, but there's no rush to fill them because there's going to be 900 plus free agents come cut down day because everybody gets cut on the same day.
Yeah, this is the really interesting litmus test. You only have to cut them down one time. Are teams going to wait to that final cut, or will they still start cutting people throughout the summer in August and as we're getting up? I'm really intrigued by that change to see how that actually plays out. He later in that presser said something really interesting about the defensive tackle position when he said, we'll reevaluate it in the middle of camp. And I think that is very telling of players like Maurice Hurst and Tristan Hill, in which they gave kind of lottery ticket contracts and said, hey, these are two guys that have plenty of upside. They've shown flashes. They've had some injury history. Tristan Hill had some things where he fell asleep in a meeting when Isaiah Thomas was speaking, so there's some maybe maturity issues. I don't know, however you want to categorize that. But you're looking at these players that they brought in. They got extra time in camp. They got an extra preseason game because of the Hall of Fame game coming up next Thursday. And I think he's in such a great position to sit there and look at it and be like, I can give these bottom, 30 players on the roster a really good shot to prove themselves before the end of camp so that I can make decisions if I have to. If in the middle of camp, you're like Maurice Hurst, Tristan Hill's not working, you have the ability then to bring somebody in and still have a couple of weeks. And I really think that this extra time really sets the Browns up to really polish the final probably 7 or 8 spots of the roster.